Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is Wednesday. It is 8 p.m. My name is Paul Spencer, and of course, I'm always privileged to be with the best out there, Mr. Bill Furman, the OG of the airways. Bill, how we feeling?
Well, thank you for that, and great to see you, Paul. Doing good. Everything is fantastic. Back home in the home Philly press box tonight.
Well, glad you had a safe trip, Bill. It was always great to see the kids, the grandkids and everything like that. What
Fun
better way
trip.
to spend your holidays? What you're a world warrior, Bill. I tell you that.
We
But Bill,
covered some ground, that's for sure.
we did, but Bill, you know what? This has been quite a season. We started this in pre-week 1, Bill, and here we are. Season's over. Wow, Bill. Wow, it's a hell of a season.
Yeah, the time has flown by for doing this show. I've enjoyed the heck out of doing it with you, and glad we could do it. Hopefully, we can do it again, and maybe in the off season we stick in a show or two if something fun happens. But it's been great, and I think college football up to the bowls. Certainly didn't disappoint. It was a great season. The championship round, the Final Four didn't disappoint either.
True.
Great games with all the heavyweights were there, and they all showed up big.
Yeah, Bill, exactly what you said. I mean, some of the bowl games have lost their luster. As a fan of old school football, my priorities was running my errands, running everything that I want to do around bowl games this year, Bill. But this was the first year, honestly, I could say to my family, whatever you guys want to do, we can do. It's not a big deal this year. Just let me watch the BCS championship games, and I'm good this year. I'm okay. But yeah, they didn't disappoint, Bill. The BCS championship, I want to say, Bill, they got it right. They didn't get it right, but what they left me with, I have no disrespect what they gave me.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan and Washington, like I said, there was heavyweight bout, and they showed what they had. Both teams, Washington lost the game. They certainly have nothing to be ashamed of. They had a perfect season going into that game. They deserve to be there. I think once you get down to that 3 and 4, the Alabama-Texas thing, people can debate that, forever. Should Florida State have been there? Should Georgia have been there? I will say this, though, because the more I thought about this whole thing, and, it all runs around ESPN. I think we pretty much knew, where the money goes. But had Georgia won against Alabama complicated everything. Because when Georgia lost, or when Alabama won, you couldn't put Alabama in without putting Texas in because Texas beat them.
Right.
If Georgia wins that game, Florida State is probably in, and Georgia's in. And
I agree.
Yeah, and you'd have 4 undefeated teams in there, as it should have been. By Georgia losing, that blew up the whole thing, and they'll be talking about it. They'll certainly be talking about it in Tallahassee.
Oh, yes.
Forever.
Yeah, but I couldn't agree with you more. I think it was exactly what you said there. It was saving grace in a way for Georgia to lose to Alabama, of course. Then you put Alabama and Texas in there. That is ratings, Bill. That number one, that's ratings. Alabama, Texas, Washington, Michigan. That's what ESPN wanted. That's what they wanted there for the money wise. The big ticket, as you would say. If Georgia would have won that game, then you know what? That would have made things a little bit different. Okay, well, Alabama lost. Texas lost here, so we got to put the 4 unbeaten teams here. We have to do that, but do we really want Florida State in there with no quarterback, Roadmaker? Do we want him in there? It's not money. So I think ESPN said, you know what? But, Bill, I'll tell you what. Both games down to the last play of the game, I can't ask for more as a fan.
Yeah, I mean, I think a Georgia-Florida State game as the 1 and the 4 seed would probably been fine.
Yeah.
Georgia would have probably won that game. Florida State's defense would have showed up. They'd have played well. And they deserve to be there. And that's what I keep hanging.
I agree too.
And people would have watched.
Oh yes, I would have watched it. Of course, I would love to. I would have been rooting for the underdog, Bill. We don't give us a shot. The hungry dogs, as you say in Philadelphia. That's what I wanted to see. I would have took that chance.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, Bill, let's get into it. National championships here, Bill. I mean, let's get this banner up here so we can read it under there. Wow, Michigan. Who has it better, Bill?
Wow. They're good. I mean, they played good. They played better than I thought they would play in this game. They rushed for 303 yards against the Washington defense that I thought was pretty good. I didn't think they were as good as Michigan.
Right.
but I thought they were pretty good. I never thought they would rush for 303 yards. They basically ran up and down the field at will.
Yeah.
So hats off to them. It wasn't about J.J. McCarthy.
Nope.
I think we could put the rest that whatever Harbaugh is nipping on the side about being the best college quarterback ever. I think he's lost his mind there, Jimbo. But them boys up front and Blake Corum were fantastic.
Bill, I think we texted a couple times during the game, and it was just big boy football, Bill. They pulled the pants up, laced them up and said, you know what, this is Michigan football back in the day. It's run, Big Ten. Bill, I know you always say Big Ten football. I tell you what, the Big Ten football looked like it was there in that game, 100% as division, because, Bill, it was one in the trenches. I mean, I thought Corum would run wild. He did run wild, Bill, but even Edwards, how he came out right away. It was just thunder and lightning. You can't tackle what you can't catch, Bill, and give credit to that offensive line because, a lot of people disregard offensive linemen, saying they're just O-line. Well, I tell you what, they won that championship right there, Bill.
Yeah, and they always do. It always comes down to that. And to your point, I think Michigan came out and just punched them in the mouth.
Yeah.
It was 14-0, 14-3 early.
Yes.
And it looked like Washington was going to get run out of the building. They got themselves together a little bit before halftime. They made a couple stops against the run game, and they scored a touchdown. I thought, okay, the second half, this might, maybe they'll be okay. They've kept it close at least.
Yeah.
It looked like they were in big trouble, but that didn't work out well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. In the second quarter there, they get the ball last, come down and score. That didn't work out that well either. Then, okay, well, that's a momentum right there. Either you get 3 or get 7. Hopefully, you come back third quarter, get the ball. Then we have a game here, Bill. But I tell you what, Michigan's defense was just flying, Bill. I've never seen a defense move that fast. And their corners, Bill, they played off ball, on ball, and it was just a great man coverage, great zone coverage. It was making Penix look like, wow, like a JV quarterback. Like, why are we mentioning him for Heisman this year, Bill? Because they showed him different looks this entire game and put pressure on him, number one.
Yeah, they did. And I think I said this on the show. I thought that that's where the big advantage was Washington.
Yes.
I thought that wide receiver crew would really take it to Michigan, and because I thought they were that good.
Yeah.
Again, hats off to Michigan. They did just what you said, and they ended up getting some yards and getting some plays, and Penix did too. But overall, just a fantastic effort by Michigan on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. Do you think it would have been a different game if – I'm not going to discredit Penix because some of those balls were, misread balls, bad judgment balls. The one he had to Roma Duzzi, wide open, Bill, on a breakdown by the defense there. Yeah. That was a walk-in 7 points. And, Bill, there was a couple other ones that he missed wide open receivers too. Yeah. Do you think that was just, hey, I know the pressure's coming. I just got to get the ball out quick as hell. And, hey, take my chances with the wide receivers because Bill Oduzier and Polk and, even Westover, the tight end, he had some great catches as well. But I think he was just a little scared of that pressure, Bill. Got to get the ball out fast.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, not framing it quite the way you did, but Michigan played a clean game.
Yes.
Washington, just to your point, did not play a clean game. They let some opportunities get away from him.
Yeah.
He missed some passes. They missed some balls. And I don't think you can get in. You can't be in a game like that against an opponent like that and not play clean.
Agree. Yeah, I mean, you arguably have, 3 of the top 15 wide receivers for Washington, Bill. And, we know what Penix can be. He can beat you, through the air against anybody. He's done, consistently through the games this year, close games, blowouts, whatever he may have. He shows up. But, Bill, when you got pressure in your face, I tell you what, it's a different look out there. And I tell you what, hats off to, Harbaugh and Michigan because that scheme that they came up with defense, Bill, it was just, they did their homework. And I tell you what, they put Penix in a situation where I don't think he's seen all year, Bill.
Yeah, well, I mean, as we said, Washington offensive line won the Joe Moore Award for the best offensive line in the country. Yeah. Michigan didn't seem to care about that. They went after them. They sent extra guys. They put them in positions where they couldn't block everybody. Again, a classic coaching job by as much as I don't like to particularly care for him. But tremendous coaching job by the Michigan staff.
Yeah, and he says, the UW got worn down in the fourth quarter, Bill. It was just, you know what, when you're getting grounded pound like that, and we talked about all year, McCarthy. What is he, Bill? Why are people talking about this guy? To me, yes, the word I want to say, two words, Bill: game manager. He manages the game. That's all he has to do. You don't need to do much, Bill, when you got the arguably number one, offensive line in the country, two stud backs, Bill. Edwards coming in the game, giving 2 TDs here. Corum, we know what he is, Bill. It just wears you down when you're getting manhandled by, bigger, faster, not, I don't want to say more intelligent, but schematically wise, Bill, 5 linemen working as one versus whatever defense you want to show. Congratulations.
Yeah, and I don't want to take anything away from McCarthy. I didn't, I said I didn't feel like he was a Heisman candidate. And I still don't feel he's a Heisman candidate.
No, me either, Bill.
But he played a good game.
Yeah,
he played a good game. He made some throws that he needed to make, and he made them well.
Mm-hmm.
He did in the game before too. He made some plays that he needed to make. So he managed the game, but he managed it well. I think he made some plays, and I think he's in a little bit of a rabbit hole because everybody wants to say, "Oh, Tom Brady played at Michigan, and he's the next Tom Brady." And this,
right.
Well, give the kid a break. He's not Tom Brady,
exactly,
and he's not going to be.
No,
but that doesn't make him a bad player, and I think he's going to be just fine. I think he's going to get a chance in the league, and I think he's probably going to be fine. He's not going to be Tom Brady, but he's going to be fine.
I agree. I mean, Bill, I think that one of the momentum changes when I see McCarthy run for, move to 6 a couple of times. He showed hard. He put his helmet down a couple of times, and I'm like, wow, why are you doing this, kid? They need you. I know their backup, of course, the other backup that they had, the running quarterback. I forgot what his name was, Bill, but Orge or something like that.
Orge, right?
Orge. I mean, we know what he is, but I was like, wait a minute, is this really McCarthy running the ball here? What is he doing? But I tell you what, Bill, I think the offensive line looked at that and said, holy crap. Well, you know what? If he's going to put his helmet down, let's just go out and, this take this game in the third and fourth quarter, then let's put it out of reach, because I don't know what it was, Bill, but I don't know.
Well, and one other thing with McCarthy, and I think this probably goes back to Harbaugh as well. A lot of team. There was a lot of leadership from McCarthy, a lot of team type thing, promotions from Harbaugh. I think it's a little harder to see these days, but I think it was pretty clear that McCarthy was the leader of that offense and or the leader of the football team, and Harbaugh being the kind of the cheerleader type guy that he is, he made it clear that McCarthy was my guy. Yes. And I think that goes a long way with your team, and he built a team. He didn't have a bunch of young kids that were here this year, going to be gone next year. One and done kind of guys. He had a team coming back. He knew he was loaded.
Yes.
And then he took it wire to wire. It's good for him.
And that's a great thing you mentioned that, Bill. Harbaugh is the cheerleader coach, the players coach, basically says the right things. The momentum guy gets you feeling, hyped up, pom ready. And one of the statements that he made, Bill, was what he said about, McCarthy versus Tom Brady. He's the best quarterback that Michigan ever had. Well, Bill, of course, I don't think he believes that 100%, Bill, of course, but that tells the quarterback, like, hey, my coach believes in me. We're going somewhere. We're going to win this national championship. And it starts, with the players too. McCarthy's the leader. But I was watching a podcast with Michigan, some of the players, and they asked Corum, how do you feel about your leader, McCarthy? He's like, he's one hell of a guy. He's one hell of a leader in the locker room, on field, off field. And he was one of the reasons why I came back last year. We lost. I had the injury. But when he looked at me and said, we're going to win this next year, I came back from beginning to end, Bill. They followed him. They really followed him.
Yeah. Well, and it came out too. I had forgotten this, that when McCarthy got off the podium last year after the loss, he said, "We will be back, and we will win."
Yes. Yeah. Because as a post conference, not the post conference, the podcast, Bill. He actually pulled out of his pocket in a little bitty Ziploc bag, Bill, some of the confetti, from when TCU won that game. He pulled it. He was like, "This is what I keep in my locker room." I said, I'll be back. We made it back. And just like Corum said, business is complete. We completed the business, but yeah.
Good for them.
Yep, exactly. Eddie says, Brady wasn't that great at Michigan. Also, Brady didn't become Brady in his third year into it. I understand that, but I mean, there's a difference between McCarthy and Brady. I think Brady threw more passing attempts than McCarthy threw completions in his career, Bill, most likely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Brady didn't go to Michigan, this conversation wouldn't even be taking place.
There's
you
a
wouldn't
great one.
put McCarthy and Brady in the same sentence if
Yep.
they just didn't both happen to go to Michigan.
And Bill, there's a name that you mentioned. Greasy right there was probably the best quarterback at Michigan as well. So I mean, that's just saying the right things with your coach, Bill. You're as a coach, of course. But Bill, let's wind this down. Your final thoughts on this national championship game, Bill?
Not other than it didn't disappoint.
Definitely.
As we said, the semifinals and the finals didn't disappoint. For guys like us that just like to watch great college football and smash mouth with great kids running around, great athletes, it was fun. It was fun to watch.
Brady got benched behind Drew Henson. True. All right, Bill. Speaking of this, since college football's over here, we always get some kind of news, Bill. Yeah. Bill, the GOAT has retired.
Yeah,
the GOAT has retired.
How about that? And I'll tell you what, for those that might be confused and not know who the GOAT is, that would be Nick Saban.
Yes.
After 17 years, decided that he was going to pack it in. But you know what, Paul? I would love to. I said this on our show here at 7:00. I would love to sit down with a glass of tea with Nick and find out the reasons. He's 72 years old.
Yeah.
And he's won. He's got all the money he needs. Hopefully he's healthy. Did the whole business of college football chase him out? That's really what I would like to know. And you probably would never hear it.
Right.
Unless you were in a private spot drinking a glass of tea under a shade tree. Yes,
Bill, that is a great question, or a great, a timing to talk about that, because he's going to say the right things, Bill. He's never been the one. I mean, he said some crazy things in the past about the BCS, we know, but he's not going to say the wrong things. Of course, we know that. But Bill, that is a great statement what you made there. Is college football becoming something different of what he's used to? The NIL, the transfer portal. Maybe it's time for him to say, you know what? This is a new regime coming in here. It's not for the championships. It's for the player and, quote, money, Bill. Maybe that's what it is.
Absolutely. And I think your days of building championships and building kids and being coaches, you're a coach. It's more than winning football games. It's mentoring young men into real men. And there's a whole lot more to it than going out there on Saturday and winning a football game. And I think that's all changed for the old guys. That's all changed. And, we talked about this. If his center, who struggled a little bit, played in the game they lost, and a week later was playing for Ohio State.
Yes.
That just isn't good enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
You having to recruit your own kids every week or every month or whatever. Besides all the other stuff going on, you got to figure out how to keep your own kids from being poached away or whatever.
Yeah.
And even if Nick and his staff had to sit down with that kid and said, "Hey, we're going to move on from you," that's difficult too. You recruited this kid; he's played for you for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And hey, we're done with you.
I agree.
That's all business. That has nothing to do with being a coach true. Of young men.
And, Eddie brings up a great point there. He didn't have time for the NLBS and the NIL. I'm sorry, but Bill, that goes back to Bryce Young's freshman year. Even before he threw a pass, he had a deal worth $1.1 million.
Yeah.
And I remember Nick Saban. I don't know his words, Bill, but he said something. Wait a minute, this kid hasn't thrown a ball in college football, and he's being crowned this kind of money. This is what we're leaning toward, Bill? Well, 4 years, 4 years down the line, Bill, look where he's at now. Well, he said what he said. This is what we're leaning to. I'm out of here. I would love to sit in a room, Bill. I tell you what, I know he goes on the Pat McAfee show a lot. Yeah. I know he's going to say the right things, Bill, but I'm definitely going to tune into that tomorrow because I want to see, because McAfee holds nothing back. He will ask questions. I want to see that. I can't wait to see that, Bill.
And having watched Saban for so many years, he might just come out and say it's reached a business level to the point that I just don't want to do all this.
I agree. But do you think he'll be like an analyst, Bill? Do you see that? I don't see Nick Saban doing that. That's not him. I don't see that.
No, I don't either. I think he's, like, say, 72 years old. He's got a big, giant place on some lake down there in Alabama. I see him kind of fading away, and he'll make his public appearances, and he's going to be sought after.
Oh, definitely will. Definitely will.
And I'm sure he'll be doing a lot of Alabama fundraising and those sort of things. But I don't really see him being the kind of guy that's going to stay involved.
Me either, Bill. I mean, some of his credits, Bill, 6 national championships, 7 total, 1 at LSU. I'm sorry, 6 total at 1 with LSU, of course. 9 SEC championships, Bill. Over the 17 years, Bill. 206, 21, and 1, Bill. That is insane as a head coach. Bill, I tell you what, I pat myself on the back for a 9-2 season, Bill. That's, back-to-back 9-2s. I'll tell you what, this guy, I don't think he's ever lost 2 games in a year, Bill.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and
insane.
when he has in the last couple of years, it's chasing him out.
Exactly. Bill, it's so great, for the fans out there. You lose one game, and you still know Alabama is still one of the top 5 teams in the nation, Bill.
Oh, yeah.
They belong, and that goes to say, what Nick Saban's about. We always say you give Nick Saban 2 weeks, prepare for a game. Don't count him out because we've seen it. 2 years ago, Bill, when they got left out, you might have left the wrong team out. Well, you put them in this year, and I tell you what, they took them down to the break, Bill.
Yep, absolutely. So here, I'm going to throw at you before we get off of Nick Saban. I already got his replacement picked.
Well, you know what, Bill? We got some comments out there too saying, I want to hear yours, Bill, because Eddie's already got some guy out there, Bill.
Does he? Well, I got one that's going to surprise you.
Okay.
Dan Lanning, good choice. I like that. But here's one. Here's the one. I'm not a bettor. I know you like to maybe wager a little bit. I'm not a bettor, but if I were a bettor, I'd take a crisp $100 bill. And I'd lay it on this, and then I'd play the odds.
Now I wrote down 3 names, Bill. I'm going to see where we stand here. Go ahead.
And I would like my chances. I had 2 names that came to my head.
Okay.
But this one's the winner.
The winner. Okay. Okay.
You ready? You got a hold of your chair.
Bill, I'm holding on to my chair here. It does swivel, Bill, but I'm trying not to swivel here. Go ahead.
Hold on.
Let me hold on now. Go ahead.
Dabo Swinney.
Bill, I don't believe you said that because I know you can't see it. Number 2, Dabo Swinney on my board. Wow. You think that too, Bill? You think that
too? Absolutely. He played there. He coached there.
Wow.
He's a champion. He's already proved he's a champion. He runs a clean program.
Yeah.
He's a great recruiter. He's 52 years old, I believe. So he's still got another 10 or 12 year run, whatever. I think he's 52, maybe 54, something like that. But he's got 10 years. ACC's in trouble. We know that.
Yes.
This is an exit for Dabo to get out of that ACC. Now, I don't know about the whole contracts or what's going on with all that.
Sure.
But Eddie must have missed about a half a dozen seasons or something. But he's the guy.
I agree.
I'll throw my second one out.
How about I give you mine, Bill? See where I'm at with you. Okay, I got 3 here, Bill. Dan Lanning was one of them. He was my wild card coming from Morgan. He's my wild card. Number 2, Bill, was Dabo Swinney. Okay, I agree with you there. You locked him in already. But Bill, there's one name that I want to lock in. He's been in Alabama, Bill. Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, he's the easy one. Yes. I think he's the name that first pops into everybody's head.
Yes.
I just don't really like Lane's track record.
I don't either, Bill.
I think Dabo's got a better track record. He's built a program, and Lane hasn't stayed in one place long enough to build a program. And so that's why I move him. He was my second name, but and there's so many other guys, but who are you going after here? You want to go young?
I don't know. As long as we know they can't make Tommy Reese that guy, Bill. There's no damn way that's happening.
Right.
We know that. But Eddie says, Bama needs a coach that's willing to work the system. Well, there's only one guy that can do that. That's Deion Sanders. But there's no way. There is no way. No way in hell, Bill. No. I will not watch a game if that ever happened.
Yeah, no, that didn't enter my mind. I can tell you. I can tell you that.
Me either.
Now, let's go crazy since we're going crazy. How about you want to throw Lincoln Riley in there?
Oh, wow, Bill. Well, Bill, I don't think so unless he has the greatest defensive coordinator out there because Lane gives him some motive, Bill. Score, 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 and don't care what they put up. We can score more than you.
Yep.
That is not Alabama football. I tell you what, as the boosters, the fans of Alabama, the fans out there, they will run him out of town in one game when they give up 20 points, Bill. They will not have that happen. No way I could do that.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Well, the thing I think we're going to find is whoever it is, whoever the candidates are, they're not going to be from Central Michigan. They're not going to be from Villanova. Mm-hmm. These are going to be high profile guys that are going to leave high profile jobs to get what might be the highest profile job.
Yes. Now, Bill, I'm a better, of course. We talked about that a lot of times. I did go on DraftKings about right before the show here, and I looked at, they have 5 guys, Bill, listed. Okay. Dabo Swinney, Lane Kiffin, Dan Lanning. Bill, there's 2 other guys that I got to ask you really quick. One, I don't think that this would ever happen because he's your coach, Bill, James Franklin.
No.
He is plus 1,800 right now. It's number 5. The other one, Bill, Mike Norvell. What do you think about that? Because ACC, it's like you said, ACC's in trouble, Bill, right?
Mike Norvell a whole lot more than James Franklin. Why would they want James Franklin?
I don't know. I mean, his name, Bill, I circled that right here, and I got curious. I said, please ask Bill about this.
Yeah, I mean, I think as a Penn State fan, I'd be pretty happy with that. We'll get over the hump, but I just don't. I can't imagine why Alabama would want him.
Bill, would Kirby Smart ever go transfer over to Alabama there? I mean, I don't see that. I mean, he has a great.
Well, right. I mean, I think right now Kirby's program is maybe better than Alabama. I mean, they're right up there.
Yeah.
Is it a job improvement? Now, if somebody comes and offers you $100 million, yeah, it's a job improvement.
Mm-hmm. Well, the top 2 paid coaches in in college football are Kirby Smart number 2 and Nick Saban's number 1. But speaking of that, Bill, he has a contract till 2029 here, another $8 million, 8-year deal owed to Nick Saban. That's a huge buyout. Or do you think Saban's the type guy and say, you know what, let's just cash it out. I'm walking away. I don't need it. Do you ever see a coach doing that, Bill? Because it's all about money with the players.
No, Saban's not going to take that money. He retired. He left. He's going to, I mean, unless there's something going on in the background.
That's
But I don't think that would be the case. And I think he basically forfeits it, or they give him a year of it, or whatever. They come to some deal. But no, he's not going to collect however many years that was.
Okay.
He's not going to collect that.
Yeah. Bill, you know what, if you can make that happen, Bill, I don't care where it's at, if it's through a phone technology, get Nick Saban, because I want to hear exactly those answers, because Bill, there was no noise about this at all. It just came out of nowhere. We all talked about Pete Carroll getting at 72, getting out of there, being an advisor. But then all of a sudden, when you text me that, I thought I texted you back, Bill. I thought it was BS at first, Bill. I really did, until I seen it breaking.
Yeah, I saw it. Somebody texted it to me, and I Googled it first before I texted it. I was like, really? Is this real?
Let me say this. Well, wait, let me make sure first. I know. Well, Bill, you know what? How about we have a little fun tonight, Bill?
All right.
We got what I did up here, Bill. I know, not in no order here. I took the top basically 15, prospects this year at the NFL draft, actually on each side. So we got about 30 people here, Bill. The NFL draft is coming up, of course. We know that, 1 through 10, Bill. Pretty much we know like 1 through 18 already is set. But we went 1 through 10 here, Bill. Chicago Bears control this draft, Bill. We know that, 1 and 10. It all plays what they take first. If they take the QB, they take, the stud Marvin Harrison. Where do they go? But, Bill, let's go down here. How about we play GM, Bill? I'll give you the first pick, Bill. You're the GM for the Chicago Bears. What player on this board are you taking, Bill? And tell me why. Do you keep Justin Fields? Do you go another way? What do you do, Bill? As the GM for the Bears?
Let's start out with the Bears of the news that came out from them today.
Okay.
They decided to keep their head coach.
Yes.
After only been there 2 years, they decided they're going to keep him, and then turned around and fired the whole offensive staff.
Yes.
So I'm not sure what that means exactly. I don't know that means they're going to move on from Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields had a pretty nice second half of the season. The Bears played better. They won some games, played themselves all the way down to the 10th pick there.
Yeah.
You know, so I believe if it were me, I would trade that pick. I would keep Justin Fields, and I would either take. I'm going to stay with Marvin Harrison,
okay,
because I still think he's the best receiver in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I could get a boatload for somebody that wants Caleb Williams,
yes,
then I would trade. But I got to get another pick in the top 6 or 7, and maybe not this year, maybe next year.
Yeah.
But I got to get a really high value or a whole bag.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, I'm taking Marvin Harrison.
No, that's what I have too. I have Marvin Harrison here because, like you said, Justin Fields, they gave him more this year. He played more passing yards than he's had, Bill. But the one thing too, under coaching, Bill, they really never had a scheme for this guy. You come into the season as a running quarterback, not throwing. We don't care what you do. Run the ball, win games, stay healthy. But I think if you go out and get him this weapon, Bill, because Bill, you're not going to go to the Super Bowl next year, even if you get Marvin Harrison Jr. You're going to still be a lottery team, probably 1-10 as well next year too. They have so many pieces, Bill. It's just not one piece of the puzzle. You have an entire jigsaw puzzle to put together. So next year, you know what? If it doesn't work out mid-season, if you're not there, get rid of them. Whatever, take your chances. Next year, you'll be in the pick. Get a quality QB next year. But I go Marvin Harrison too, Bill. But I agree with that. I agree.
And I would tell you, Todd McShay put out his first mock draft today. I don't know if you saw it, but
I didn't see it.
I have the top 10 picks right here.
Oof.
He has the Bears taking Caleb Williams.
I did see that. I was looking at one, Bill. I forgot what it was, the PFF draft, and I looked at that. They have top 3 quarterbacks going 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, Bill.
So does McShay.
Wow. Is Daniels one of them, Bill?
He is.
Yeah, I seen that too. I couldn't believe that one. I could not believe that one either. Yeah. Wow. I tell you, Bill, the Bears, I like what you said. I think if they can, Bill, they get a little stockpile of draft picks next year. I think they do that because you look at some of these teams, Bill, the Eagles did it quite a few times, back-to-back years as well. Stockpile the draft picks, 2 first-round picks next year. If you trade to a bad team that wants that QB, odds are, Bill, they're not going to be the best team out there. A lottery pick as well. They're going to be a high pick. You get that pick too. It's gonna be quality return on your investment moving down the future.
Yep.
All right, Bill. I'll go number 2 here. I'll take the Commanders here. Same situation. Are you okay with Sam Howell? What do you need? You lost half your defense to trade here. Weapons you're okay with. Running game's a little questionable. But Bill, I think they go defense here. I'm going to give you a probably too high here, Bill, but I'm going to go Jared Verse out of Florida State. I think you have to go defensive end because you gave up Chase Young. Montez Sweat is gone. You need to solidify that defense because you can put up points, but you're going to give up a lot of points versus this defense. We've seen it the last 3 weeks, Bill. I'm going to go Jared Verse. And I know it's a little high, but I think he's the best defensive end in the draft.
All right. I'm going to go with you as far as Sam Howell is not going to be their guy.
Mm-hmm.
New ownership, new coach, whoever that's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm the Bears. I'm backing up to the Bears. I am going to hold this pick hostage right here. And you, Washington, are going to trade me to move up that one spot so you can take Caleb Williams and have the fresh start with the fresh ownership, Magic Johnson and the LA connection. I'm going to take Caleb Williams with that 2 pick.
Wow.
Which would be the 1 pick. And I'm still going to get Marvin Harrison with the 2 pick if I'm the Bears, plus a whole bag to go with it.
Wow. Bill, have you been reading Howie Roseman's book lately? Because I tell you what, you turned into Howie Roseman tonight, Bill, with all these, I'm telling you, you're pulling everything out of the bag tonight, Bill.
I didn't even know Howie Roseman had a book, but maybe I'll check it out.
I don't think he does, Bill, but you know what? If he does, I think everybody in the world needs to read that on GMs. I tell you how
I think the Bears, like you said, the Bears hold the cards here.
They do.
If they can make everybody think they're taking Williams down to the last minute and just keep raising the price.
Yeah.
In Washington
I
or
agree.
maybe New England, somebody going to bite.
Mm-hmm. And I was reading something earlier, Bill, and this guy I know, he does a Chicago podcast, and I was texting him back when I'm like, "What do you do?" And he's like, "Don't be crazy about this, but think about this. the day of the draft, Bill, that's when Justin Fields will be traded somewhere for a pick. And I was like, why? He's like, just like what you said, Bill, make them think. Put out that picture of that, that DeCasso out there. Make them believe we're cool with Justin Fields. Oh, we're going to take this guy. Day of the draft here. Well, you have that 15 minutes of, fame there. Hey, Bill, how bad do you want Caleb Williams? Because we're definitely taking him, but we don't want you to know that. So what's it worth to you?
That's right.
They control this, Bill. I mean, the Eagles controlled the draft 2 years ago.
You just be fielding offers coming in.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not Washington. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's somewhere down the line. Maybe it's looking at the list. Maybe it's the Jets.
Yeah.
Who knows? Somebody needs a quarterback.
Now, would you take Joe Alt or the Penn State guy, Fanchua, at 2, Bill? Is that too high for that?
Nah, I think it's too high. There's too many skilled players here that teams need.
Yeah.
I think if you, not to jump too crazy out of the order here, but 2, 3, probably 5, but they're handcuffed with Daniel Jones' contract.
Yes.
8, 9, all need quarterbacks.
Would you take the quarterback and sit him behind Aaron Rodgers for next year, Bill? I think that's the best thing to do. If you can get a quality QB to fit that personnel and sit behind Rodgers coming back next year, then you got your QB in waiting. Even let's say even Rodgers is healthy and he plays 2 more years, Bill. You got that quarterback for the future 2 years. You look at Jordan Love now, Bill. He's finally hit where he needs to be. Maybe that's the right option for the Jets in that scenario.
Yeah, I think the Jets are definitely going to take a quarterback. I'm not sold on Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets, to me, was a fraud right from the start.
Ooh, wow.
I just didn't think they were good enough, that the Jets were good enough. And to me, I think they thought Rodgers was going to go to the Jets and be able to do what Brady did to the Bucs. The only thing the Bucs were lacking was a quarterback.
Yes.
When Brady stepped in and took them to the Super Bowl. The Jets aren't that. They got a lot of holes, and
agree with that.
Aaron Rodgers, to me, is not taking them to the Super Bowl. So I'm not sure. I don't pick a quarterback and move on. Maybe I get Rodgers to retire.
I agree. But number 3 here, Bill. This is a great situation here. Bill Belichick retires and Caleb drops. I think Caleb would fit there, but not with Belichick. I don't see that ever happening. That's not his QB.
Before you go on, the Commanders, according to Todd McShay, are taking Drake May at 2.
I did see that. That's the way PFF has it as well. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, my bad. Go ahead, New England.
But yeah, New England. You're up, Bill. Where are you going with New England here? Let's give me 2 options here. If Belichick stays, where do you take? If Belichick goes, new head coach. I know it comes down to the head coach, Bill, his scheme, his philosophy, where you go, but we'll keep it as Belichick still there. How about that?
All right. Well, it's going to be a quarterback. I guess it depends. They have to have a quarterback.
They do.
Yeah.
Mac Jones is not. No. And Zappy.
I'm not sure. McShay has Jaden Daniels in this spot. I'm not sure I like that. But if the Bears or the Commanders don't take Williams or May, I see that guy going in this 3 spot.
I agree.
And again, I guess it's safe to say the Patriots have given up on what they have. It's time to move on.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
So I guess if we were rolling it out at this point, let me say, because I've used Harrison and Williams, going to put May in that 3 spot.
I agree, Bill. I don't think Jaden Daniels is the right answer. You got to put Jaden Daniels with weapons, Bill, and the Patriots have no weapons on the opposite side of the ball. You got to put him in weapons. I mean, he strives with weapons, but we've seen that with Neighbors and other people he has down at LSU. Wrong scenario. If Caleb or Drake May drops, I think that's what it's going to be hard for me to see a quarterback like Caleb Williams. I know they had Cam for a little bit, Bill, but it's going to be hard to see a running quarterback in New England when they've always had drop back quarterbacks like a Drake May. I think he would fit better there.
Yeah. Well, I think a guy like Daniels might be at a little bit disadvantaged because I think everybody's got these visions that we're going to be the Ravens and we're going to repeat that quarterback. Well,
yes.
I don't know you got that.
I agree. Now, Eddie says, what about Mike Penix to the Pats there, Bill? I want to get your take on that too, because Bill, 2 ACL injuries, and now I'm hearing like a rib injury as well, what he suffered in that BCS game there. Did he play himself down the ranks, Bill, or what do you think about that?
I don't know he played himself down, but I don't think he's a number 3 pick.
I don't either.
I think, you might could get him at 18, 20, somewhere like that. The other thing about him, and I don't know about some of these other guys, but Penix is like a 6-year senior.
Yeah.
He's 24 years old or something. He's not one, 21-year-old sling shooter,
Mm-hmm. I think he was right behind Sam Hartman, Bill, and age-wise, player mentality of years played, Bill. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Bill, we know what we got. We'll do another 5 minutes here, Bill. Give me your, how about we do this? How about, since we don't have to go through the whole, top 10 here, give me your one player you think is going to move up the boards, Bill, and give me one player that you definitely think is overrated that we have on the board here, pretty much.
Well, the guy that I think is going to move up, and I was going to put him right here in this 4 spot.
Okay.
Is Malik Neighbors.
Bill, you and I think alike. I tell you what, I think the Cardinals go Malik Neighbors. That's who I have right on my paper as well, Bill.
Yeah, if Marvin Harrison was still on the board, I think they would take Marvin Harrison.
Yes.
But LSU puts out really good receivers.
They do.
They're on a roll with them. Cardinals need a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
The kid can flat out fly, and they got a quarterback. They got to build around what they've got. I think Neighbors at that spot is a really good place for him.
I do too. I have him penciled in there. Malik Neighbors out of LSU. I think that's a great philosophy. If Marvin Harrison's drop, of course you take Marvin Harrison no matter what. You got a 1A, wide receiver here, Bill, that can be that, that alpha guy right there with Kyler Murray. So I'm going to go there. But you think he's going to be the mover, Bill? Do you think Malik Neighbors is going to move up that board? Because Bill, he only what was it, 1 vote or 2 votes behind Marvin Harrison for the Heisman, or not the Heisman, the wide receiver?
The Biletnikoff award. Yeah. I mean, I think he's that good. I see him being a top 6, 7 anyway.
I agree.
He's not going to fall very far once these quarterbacks get out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Eddie said 1 vote. Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate that. Yeah, I thought it was like 1 or 2 there, but that's crazy. What about your bust, Bill? Who's your bust player that?
Yeah, I'm looking at your list here to see.
I just threw some other names out there, Bill. That
I'm just trying to think of if you're going to scratch my memory here to see who see if I missed somebody. Well, Quinn Ewers, I think he's going to be back, so he's not. Really,
I seen that he's going to come back this year.
Traydon Henderson is coming back too at Ohio State, right? And they got the kid from Ole Miss to transfer up there to running back.
What, Junekins?
Yeah.
Wow, Junekins is transferring from. I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that one, Bill. I missed that one.
Yeah, he's already at Ohio State and the Alabama center. Yeah.
Jeez.
So Henderson and Junekins will be in the same backfield.
Well, you're talking thunder and lightning, Bill, because Junekins can get you outside, get you anywhere, and we know Trayvon. If he's healthy, Bill, he's like the Ezekiel Elliott 2.0 to Ohio State.
And Will Howard at quarterback.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. And they should still have. Then I just see. Was it a Duve? I just saw the receiver's name.
Yuka.
Ibuka.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They still have him too, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
He hasn't declared anything. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So and actually, Marvin Harrison hasn't declared yet either.
He hasn't, but I think he's building with that money right now. I mean, well, Bill, you know what? Listen, he made $6 million in NIL this year, Bill.
Yeah. What do you have until the 15th? I think.
Yeah, it's the 15th. I think it is. Yeah.
15th. Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to your question, who's going to drop?
Mine's going to surprise you, Bill. Mine is definitely going to surprise you. My dropper.
I'm going to go JJ McCarthy out of the first round.
I don't even think he's going first round either, Bill. I really don't. I mean, well, is he? He's still a junior though, right?
Is he? We're not done with him yet?
I don't think so. I think he is still a junior. I can actually look that up real quick, Bill. I thought he was actually a junior. Let me see real quick. I thought he
makes me dislike him even more.
Let me see here real quick, Bill. Profile. Yeah, he's a junior, Bill. So he has 1 more year of eligibility. Yeah. Okay. So you got to put up with another year, Bill.
I guess. I guess. All
right, Bill. My mover is going to be Malik Neighbors, just like you said. I think he's going to shoot up the ranks. I think it's him and Marvin Harrison are a 1A, 1B there. You can't go wrong with either one. Cardinals fit them the best. My dropper, Bill, I hate to say this, but I think it's going to be bust-wise. I think it would be Caleb Williams. I don't think he's going to be the NFL-ready quarterback. I don't think he will be. But the person I can see dropping the most, this may surprise you, Bill, Brock Bowers. I think he goes late 20s, Bill. I really do.
Oh, my goodness. Why?
Bill, last year, being a Notre Dame fan, we talked about, Michael Mayer coming out, baby Gronk, and they compared him and, Brock Bowers being the same situated player. Last year, 2 tight ends went before him. And yes, they're playing great, Bill. I give them credit. Dalton Kincaid, he's playing great, of course. I see that. But I think, Bill, the tight end is one of the positions that's going to drop this year. Brock Bowers coming off that injury. They had the other guy too, Bill. I forgot what his name is. Conkley, wide receiver, tight end. Yeah. He played great too. I think he took a lot of the steam off Brock Bowers. I think he's going to drop probably, I'm going to say maybe 20 to 25, Bill. I really do. And that's going to be a big pick for him. But whoever gets him is going to be congratulated right there. But
interesting.
Yeah,
well, hey, let me real quick, since we have McShay's picks here. Caleb Williams at 1.
Okay.
The Bears, Commanders, Drake May.
Okay.
Patriots, Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
Cardinals, Marvin Harrison. Chargers at 5, Brock Bowers. Giants at 6, the Edge, Dallas Turner from Alabama.
Oh, wow.
Titans at 7, offensive tackle from Penn State.
Okay.
Falcons at 8, wide receiver Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
Bears at 9, Rome Odunze. And 10, the Jets, Joe Alt. All the right names, just all scattered around a little bit.
I love how Bill, I'll tell you what, if I'm the Bears real quick, I'm going to stay with Justin Fields this year. I'm going to take the board and I'm going to take Marvin Harrison number 1. Then I'm coming back out and I'm getting either Fanshawe from Penn State or Joe Alt in my 10th pick. You got the best wide receiver. You got one of the top 2, offensive linemen in the country.
Yep.
You know what, Justin Fields, stay in the pocket, learn to stay in the pocket. We got your Moore. We got your Harrison. You can't go wrong. It's your year. If not, you know what? We got a top 10 pick next year. So see you later.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, Bill, listen, man, I appreciate this. Has been one hell of a year doing this show with you. It's one of my best times. I'm so blessed to have you every week, Bill, doing the show. And Bill, I can't wait to do this again next year.
Me neither. And I appreciate it. I've enjoyed it. I'm gonna close with a couple notes for you.
Okay.
Okay. As we get ready to go into college football 2024, 12-team playoff.
Yes.
No more Pac-12.
Yes.
Oklahoma and Texas is in the SEC.
Wow.
USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington are in the Big Ten. Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah are in the Big 12. Cal, Stanford, and SMU are in the ACC. Army is in the AAC.
Yeah.
Oregon State and Washington State are a 2-team conference with MWC scheduling. The Big Ten is on CBS, and Kennesaw State might be in the FBS. Wait until 2024 hits, pal, and you're going to need your preseason book.
Oh, but
find out who is where and who's doing what.
Well, Bill, I bet you they make new copies every week. The way things are going for us, Bill. Because
right.
You never know, Bill. But Bill, I want to ask you one thing before we get there. Who's your champion next year? I know this is way too early, Bill. With the transfers, coaching, we don't know here or there, Bill. But Bill, you know what? Who's your champion next year? With what could go wrong? Who knows what can go wrong? What can happen? Who's your champion next year, Bill?
Georgia.
And then, Georgia. Okay, because I want to do is next season when we come back, episode 1. I want to. Bill, you said Georgia. Okay. Wow. Damn, this is hard, Bill. Oh my God. Man. Bill, I'm gonna go. I don't even know who I'm going, Bill, honestly. Scheme-wise, Bill, they're still there. They have the head coach. He's the best head coach in college football right now. I'm going to go Kirby Smart. I'm going to go Georgia as well.
There you go.
They have the pieces, Bill. New coaching staff coming in at Bama. We don't know. So I'm definitely going to go Georgia as well. So,
and Bill, I think Texas is going to be really good too. Whether they can get through the SEC schedule will remains to be seen, but I think they're going to be really good too.
Okay. And he has OSU if they have a good coach. Bill, I heard Ryan Day might be out. Mike Vrabel might be there.
That's
BS.
That would probably make Ohio State fans Kid will comment on that if he's still on there, because I already texted that to him yesterday, and I think Buckeye fans would be happy with that. I don't know if they'd be happy with the result, but they'd be happy with the change today.
Mm-hmm. Bill, I shouldn't say this, but I went to high school in California, and I know Meredith King is the head women's gymnastic coach at OSU. We're friends. We've been to school together. I actually texted her last couple of days ago, and I was like, hey, is Ryan Day out of there? She's like, is this between you and I? And I really shouldn't say this, but she's like, 99% of the people say bye-bye.
Wow. You guys lost 8 games, for God's sake.
Exactly right. Well, Bill, I can't wait to do this near Bill. Maybe we can come on maybe once a month, because the transfer portal come up, the spring games coming up in 2.5 months. Bill, the spring game will be back for us.
Lining them up quick.
Definitely. So once again, Bill, I appreciated doing this. Our second season doing College Football Frenzy. Our first, together for the year throughout. It was one hell of a year, Bill. And you know what? I think we deserve a trophy as well, because keeping up with all these teams, all the transfers and BS like that, Bill, I think we deserve some credit too.
There you go. Well, I certainly appreciate you having me, and I've enjoyed doing it with you. And hey, let's do it some more.
Definitely will. My name is Paul Spencer. Oh, Bill, I'm sorry. Last time, you let them know where you are, Bill, because they're not here on this show for a while.
Philly Press Box Radio every Wednesday night, 7:00. Right before we were doing this show. Check us out. We talk all things Philly sports and cover a lot of other things too. So always have great guests, and we like to get after it a little bit.
Definitely do. Please check them out. My name is Paul Spencer. That is the OG of the airwaves, Mr. Bill Furman, of course. And guys, you're listening to College Football Season 2, and we'll be back Season 3. Until then, have a great summer, and whoever your team is, congratulations, and hopefully you get the best transfer portal out there. All I can say. Until then, see you guys later. Thank you, Bill.
All right.